Welcome back to BNG Hockey, where it's always black and gold. The Boston Bruins have signed RFA defenseman Matt Grzelcyk to a new deal. Let's talk about it. It's a 4-year deal with an average annual cap hit of $3.6 million. Now that is a little steep, I must admit, but he's only 26 years old and they avoid arbitration with this deal. This likely means that if he won in arbitration, he'd be making over $4 million. So it's good to think that the Bruins saved a little bit of money here by getting the signing done before the arbitration. And now let's take a look at Matt Grzelcyk's stats, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the deal. Last season with the Bruins, in 68 games, he put up 4 goals, 17 assists for a total of 21 points, and he was a plus 15. Over his career, he's played 197 NHL games, scoring 10 goals, 44 assists for a total of 54 points, and he's a plus 45 for his career. Those are pretty good stats for a guy who's known around the league as a third-pair defenseman. I think Matt Grzelcyk is actually a top 4 defenseman, and we're going to get into that a little later in this video when I give you my thoughts. But he's always kind of been stuck behind Chara, who's always been our top pairing defenseman and our captain, and then Torrey Krug, who is a very similar defenseman with a little bit more talent. So it was hard for Matt Grzelcyk to get the playing time necessary to get more points. So the points that he did have, pretty good. He did get second power play time quite a bit this season, so maybe you hope he puts up a few more points. But let's be honest here, how many times does the second Bruins power play get to go out there? Usually the first power play with Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak gets the job done, and there's no need for a second power play. We've already scored. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on the deal. I think this is a sneaky good signing by the Bruins. Now, I have to admit, I don't love the cap hit of $3.6 million, but that's only if he's continuing to be a third-pairing defenseman, putting up stats like he did previously. If he gets a shot at the top 4 defenseman spot, puts up some more stats, gets some more minutes, it starts to become a great contract for you. The other thing I like about it, he's right there in his prime at 26. He could still get a little bit better, and at the end of the deal, he'll be 30. These smaller defensemen usually start to lose their game a bit quicker. That's why I didn't want to overpay Torrey Krug, so I like that we don't go crazy and give him an 8-year deal here. We can kind of reassess where his game is at when he's 30 years old, maybe give him another smaller deal, or we let him go if he's just not doing it for us. But I think Grzelcyk deserves a shot in the top 4. We've seen him play with McAvoy. They have quite a bit of experience playing together. They feed off of each other well because they can kind of both pinch and help out offensively, but they're okay if one of them is back. Defensively, I think Grzelcyk is not a defensive liability. I realize that he's small and sometimes people get frustrated by that, but he's a lot better in his own zone than a guy like a Torrey Krug. He works harder, he'll get guys out of the front of the net, he's not afraid to hit, he uses his speed and he uses his great pass to get pucks out of the zone, so most of the time he doesn't even have to defend. You don't have to protect Matt Grzelcyk because even if you're starting him in the defensive zone, he's so good at getting the puck out that you don't even have to worry about him defending because it's going the other way. I think Matt Grzelcyk deserves a shot at the top power play. When Torrey Krug came into the league, we didn't expect much from him, and then he started scoring goals, you threw him on the power play, and there you go, you have a guy who can put up 60 points for you who came out of nowhere. Matt Grzelcyk hasn't done that yet, but let's give him an opportunity. Why wouldn't you? I mean, maybe you play McAvoy with the top unit because he's going to be your next superstar defenseman, hopefully. But I don't see why having a left-shot, smaller defenseman just like Krug, who's still capable of making great passes and has a pretty decent shot, he should get a look on that top power play unit. And then if you get a power play quarterback at this cap hit, it starts to become a really good deal again. The Bruins' hole on the left side is a lot worse than fans realize. They have John Moore, but he's kind of fallen out of favor. They have Jeremy Lauzon, but he's still very new to the league. I like him quite a bit, but I think he's a good fit on the third D pair. You have Vakanainen, who I have high hopes for. Zaboral, who we all have high hopes for, even though it doesn't look like he's going to be a good player. We'd hoped he would be coming out of that stacked 2015 draft class. But other than that, without signing Big Z and letting Torrey Krug go and not trading for a guy like Ekman Larsson, you don't have any left-shot defensemen, and I don't really want to play a Kevin Miller or a Connor Clifton who are right shots on the left side. I like having lefties with righties, and I think the Bruins do as well. So I definitely think you get a top 4 defenseman here. If he's getting more minutes, getting more opportunities, he can put up more points for you. I think he's a lot better defensively than people give him credit for. So all around, Pretty good deal here by Don Sweeney, and it's good to see the Bruins make a move. It's been a really slow offseason. They're running out of cap space slowly, but it's good to see that Don Sweeney at least has a pulse making this deal. That's all I got for you in this one. Let me know your thoughts on the deal down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.